Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I like to do is I want to talk about the gunman on the rooftop of the County Records building and the JFK assassination. And I'm also going to point out some other facts, and I'm also going to answer some questions that people once been asking me about why the gunman can be seen in a sprocket hole all the way through the film. But first, let's go ahead and pull this image up right here. Right here in the sprocket area, we can see the gunman. This is a reflection from the Zapruder film, which I showed people in my other videos. I got a copy of this is the same type of camera that Mr. Zapruder used, and we're getting a reflection from the lens on the lens from the camera because he's got a full zoom, which you see right here. He's got, when you go full zoom, when it's up like this, you're capturing everything that's in far distance is coming in closer, even reflections that's reflecting off the lens. And also, that's how we're capturing this gunman when he was filming. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this close-up in motion so you can see him coming down, taking aim. And I'm also going to slow it down. As you see here, he's coming down, taking aim, firing his rifle. That's in regular, normal speed. And as you see, I'm going to start slowing it down. I'm slowing it down so you can see him come down, take aim, fire, as you see here. Okay, he's coming down, taking aim, and fires the rifle. He's coming down, taking aim, firing his rifle. Coming down, taking aim, firing his rifle. Which I'm going to stop it here. This is before he fires his rifle. We can see the face right here, and we can see the hair. Here's the rifle right here. And then the next frame, he fires, as you've seen there. Which I'm going to stop right there. Right here, we see the rifle being fired. We still see the face and the hair line and the hair right here. And we can see this is his shoulder. Now, this can be seen in the Zapruder film. Now, the reason why, again, which I want to point out, which I point out in other videos and also have in my book called Evidence of a Conspiracy, which I go into more details on this. The Zapruder film is a double-sided film, as you see here. This is exact what Mr. Zapruder filmed the assassination on, this film here, because this film here is for this camera. There's 25 feet of film on one side and there's 25 feet of film on the other side. We have 500 frames on one side, 500 frames on side B. This is a two-sided film. Now, after they get done developing it, as you see here, how I cut it, that's how the film is. That's how they made the film. It looks like a 16 millimeter film, but it's actually 8 millimeters on one side, 8 millimeters on the other side. When they get done developing it, they go ahead and they splice this film like this, as you see here. Okay. Now we have side A on this side, side B. That's why when we look at the Zapruder film, as you see here where my cursor is, there's only sprockets on the one side. And then when they turn around and they tape it together here, from side A and side B, when they tape this together, this will be frames going down and then it comes up again. So this film here is a two-sided film. Now, why we see, now here's a copy of the Zapruder film, each frame from 001 all the way to 486. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something, and this is the reason why. If they took their time and processed this film the right way, the gunman would never been seen in it. And here's the reason why. And other things wouldn't be seen in it, other objects, because I'm going to show you something here. As you see here, you see this strip right here. Okay? Here's where the sprocket hole is right here. Then we have the complete frame right here. So actually the frame goes like this. Even where the sprocket holes is part of that frame. But as you see here, there's a little bit of darkness line coming down through here. That's because when they develop the film, they're bleeding from one side to the next because it's a double-sided film. Just like right here, if you look, as you watch the film, and you're paying attention to the sprocket area, as you see here, from here to here is completely dark, but we're getting double image now. See how we're getting double image? Like right here. See this right here? What people don't understand, right here now is the wheel from the motorcycle. That's right behind JFK's limo. But as you see, we cannot see that. But they're showing on the side sprocket area. Now, as you see here, here's a clear image. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in. We're going to zoom in right here. Right here is the fender of the motorcycle. This is the tire from the motorcycle. Then we have the handlebars right up here. And we got the front end right here. See, we cannot see this in the frame. But it's seen in the side of the frame because you see here's the motorcycle rider right here. Here's the police officer, but we're seeing his tire right here. We can't see it right here. It's because we get that double image because they didn't develop the right way what they're supposed to. That's why we're seeing it on the side frame. Just like right here. If you go ahead and zoom in right down here, well, I'll move it up here. We see how this frame is going over top of this lady right here that's running to the Elm Street. She's running towards Elm Street. See that fender from the motorcycle right here? It's overlapped. That's because they did a sloppy job when they developed the film. Even though the main frame itself from here over is in perfect condition, it's just from here back we're going to get a bad. They did it very bad because they was trying to rush to get this film done. If they'd have sent this film out, okay, and had it properly done and went through the process properly, then we would not even see this dark shadow. We wouldn't even see these double images in it. And what we would see was one complete frame. So this is why the Zapruder film shows that gunman in there, because here's another thing we have to look at too as fact. From frame 001 to frame 132 is seen on side A. Then we switch it over to side B, which we're going to film again, and we're still going to have that same reflection right here on the side sprocket area, because this is where the sprocket area will be at right here. We're going to have that same reflection seen on that side as well, because as you see here, from frame 132 or 133 to 138 on side A is actually, I call dead frames, because that's where the point is right here. As you see here, we're going to have some dead frames right here because of the markings on the film and it going to a point. Okay, then we turn this around and we're going to start over again, and then we go frame 133 on back up on side B. And with them being filmed with the filming up Elm Street on side A and also on side B, this is why the reflection of that gun is seen in the whole complete film, because they filmed both sides A and B as they filmed up Elm Street and caught that reflection. And with them doing a poor job in developing the film the right way, that's why we have the double reflections, and we can see all this in all the frames as we watch the Zapruder film. Now, as I showed you, we can see in the Zapruder film the gunman coming down taking aim. Well, actually, also, if in 1975, there was a bullet casing found right here up on the roof area too. A 30.6 bullet casing was also found on the rooftop when he was working on it in 1975. Now, as you see here, when we see the two shots, this is the manhole cover location here. We got the curb shot here where James Tagg was standing. Then we have the grass area where the other two shots hit. As you see, it's all done in the same line of fire. The manhole cover shots, the grass area shots, and the curb shot is all in the same line of fire. Now, as you see here, the bullet actually just penetrated the side, clipped the side of the curb where James Tagg was standing, as you see here, which you probably can't see, which I'll bring this up right here because I know I'm over in this location here. But see, it actually clipped the side, and a piece of the concrete flew up and hit the side of James Tagg's face. But all these line up in the same line of fire. Now, like I pointed out, the gunman on the rooftop of the county records building took 5 shots that day, but these were distraction shots. Now, when we look at these distraction shots, we see that he's firing in between Elm Street and Main Street. Okay, and he's just firing on this one side. Well, this is for distraction because remember, these shots were never taken until after the 2 shots came from the shelter. Once them 2 shots came from the shelter, it was time for him to start firing because these are called distraction shots. So you start getting people running up the hillside to get under cover, to get out of line of fire, and so the 2 gunmen in the shelter can get away and hide into that crowd. Now, like I said, if these 2 shots, if Oswald took his 2 shots and actually killed Kennedy and Connolly, and the gunman even on the 2nd floor of the county records building took his shots and killed them, then these shots up here, 2 shots down here on a grassy knoll area in the shelter would never have been taken, and the shots also up here from the top of the rooftop would never been taken either, because they wouldn't have to worry about trying to get them 2 guys, them 2 gunmen away. That's on in shelter number 3. But like I said, there's a lot of evidence to show that, as you know, the gunman on the rooftop of the county records building, the Zapruder film shows the reflection of that gunman. It shows him coming down, taking his shots. Other images show where his shots end up at location. As you've seen, as I showed, and as you see here, the manhole cover shots, the grass area shots, and the curb shots all in the same line of fire. So there really wasn't missed shots. It was actually called distraction shots. So I hope this covers a lot of it when I talk about it, because like I said, what people don't understand and people don't look at is when we watch this Zapruder film, it's not only we have to analyze that film and look over that film, but we have to realize too that when we're looking at the film, we're looking at a 2-sided film, which is looks like a 16 millimeter, but then it turns into 8 millimeters once they put that split into it, as you see right there as I cut it. Okay, you got side A and side B. Okay, we have to look at this information as well, so when we study this film and we analyze this film, we know we get the full information on this film, like right here. And we also have to look at consideration now between frames 133 and frames 132 and 133, excuse me. This is when that break in the film occurs. That's when Mr. Zapruder ran out of film on side A and had to turn that film around to side B and start filming Elm Street again. That's why JFK's limo was already seen coming down Elm Street, and we don't see the lead car or the lead motorcycles or anything else. We see the beginning of them, but remember, there's always 2 sets. You got your very, very first motorcycle riders. Then you have another set with the lead car in front of it. Then you have JFK's limo behind it, but we don't see. We see the first police escort coming in, but we don't see the second one or the lead car because Mr. Zapruder was turning his film around. Like I said, when I do my research, I get the camera, same type of camera, same type of film, watch how it works, you know, study the motions, how you wind it up, how it runs. Just like here, when you have this camera, what you'll see right here, when you got to keep on winding it up like this, you'll see a red light starts coming in right through here. Then when she gets completely up here, that means she's completely full of winding, which I'll wind it, wind it, wind it. And as you see here, which I put in front of the camera, see how some of this is red? Okay, he had to wind that back up all the way to its full extent. So when he pushes down on this button, which I'm going to show you, oh, well, we got to put this back in here, because if we don't, we're going to get caught on a finger. But anyway, now when I push this down, you're going to hear it running, but we're running in slow motion. I want to remind you that we're running in slow motion, because once you hold it here, okay, you have to hold it right about here, but your finger's going to start cramping up, so you have to hold it all the way down. That's what he did. Now he's starting to film in slow motion. Okay, that's what the camera sounds like when he's filming. And like I said, he's filmed at full zoom, which is like this. If he was filming a regular zoom, it'd be like this. Okay, that way he would have got Mr. Newman and his family in the frame, but he didn't. It's because he had it all the way up to where he was all the way zoomed in. That's how he caught the reflections of the gunman in that film. So see, there's a lot of things that when you analyze this film, or any film when it comes to JFK assassination, or any research that you do, you have to get the same type of film. You have to get the same type of camera. You got to understand the components in that camera, how it's filmed, how they developed it, before you can even analyze a film. You got to find all this information out first, because you can't just open up a film and say, let me analyze it, because you wouldn't know without doing research, without studying it. You would think that would be one roll of film, but actually it is one roll of film, but it's actually cut in half, because a lot of people don't take that into consideration, that this type of film is side A and side B. They don't even give that information out, but in my research, I give that information out. You got side A and side B. They split this film, as you see here. They have to split and cut this film after they're done. So see, there's a lot of things you have to look at when you analyze this film. And that's how come, like I said, when they had the film developed, they did a rush job on it, because usually it takes about, to develop this type of film, you were looking at least 2 days of developing it, or 3 days the most, okay? That's to get it properly done right. But when they rushed it and had it developed on the same day the assassination, and copies of it made, they rushed it. That's why we see all these extra elements in the Sprocket part of the film. Right here, we see all that extra stuff in the Sprocket part of the film, is because the pure simple fact of it is when they developed it, they was mainly looking at the main frame, but not the extended frame over the sprocket holes. And that's why we have them double takes, and we see the gunman in all the frames. And we see, like I said, I pointed out the motorcycle's front tire we can see in the frames as we go along. So see, there's a lot of things that we see in this film that's already been filmed way back, but we still see it in that frame as we go down further into the film. But as you see here, I showed you a close-up of the gunman coming down, taking his shots. That was on the rooftop of the county records building, which we can see in the Zapruder film. I've gone over the Zapruder film and should give you information out upon that. We looked over photographic evidence of the shots to, as you see here, the curb shot, manhole cover shots, the bullet they found in the grass area shots, the lining up shots where it shows you just lining back up to the county records building on the rooftop. Information, there was a bullet casing found, 30.6 bullet casing found on a rooftop of the county records building in 1975 by a man that's working there. The bullet that they recovered that was laid in the grass that struck the manhole cover area, that was a 30-06 bullet. So see, there's a lot of evidence there in films and images, and people don't understand when you're doing this, you have to realize, well, where this shot came from or where that shot came from. You line these shots back up, and when you start piecing all together, you get more information out of it. You're knowing a lot more. So I want to make this video of the gunman on rooftop of the county records building. We can see there was one there by our eyes through the Zapruder film. We know how the Zapruder film works now, and we know that that gunman there took just 5 distraction shots that day to get the people run up the hillside, because everybody knows when a reaction from people, you take one person, put them in a crowd, okay, or even if you look at videos on YouTube, you'll see like 10 people drop, and then somebody's looking around wondering why all these people dropped around them, so they drop down too. That's called a follower. Everybody does this. When them shots are fired close to them people that was standing along Elm Street there, they start running up the hillside there to get out of cover. They wasn't running after the gunman behind a picket fence as everybody claimed. No. They was running up that hillside to get out of the line of fire, and then when other people seen them, they continue following them too. So now we have 10 people running and people seeing them running, so they're all going to run after them to find out what's going on. But these people are running for life to get out of, get under cover, because bullets are flying around them. So there's some more information on there I have in my book called Evidence of Conspiracy, which I go into more details of everything, and I go into it step by step. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to tell your friends about us. We're going to be having a lot more information coming out, a lot more videos coming out, and excuse me, and a lot more that no one's never even heard about yet or anything else. As you see, you found it all first here coming through me, because I'm the one giving this information out, and I'm the only one who has this kind of information. But like I said, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and thank you.